Observe the sounds around you. These might be sounds outside the room that you're in. I know for me, I can hear the gardeners outside in the little courtyard. It might be sounds within the room that you're in. Perhaps the faint buzzing of technology. Any other sounds within the room, maybe it's my voice. And for the moment, just noticing the intricacies of these sounds, the tempo, the tone. Just observing with no judgment, no inclination to change how they sound or change anything. Just observing. And then start to bring your awareness a little bit closer towards yourself. So let's start by observing the sensations of the body touching the ground, so the mat beneath you. So that might be the outer edges of the feet, pressing down into the mats, maybe your ankles, perhaps it's your seat, your sit bones, the tops of your hands, the backs of your arms. Maybe noticing the sensation of your clothing against your skin. How does that feel today? Again, just observing, not needing to change, judge, letting it be. And then let's bring our awareness slowly in towards the breath. Now we have this tendency when we shift the focus to the breathing to want to change, to lengthen the breath, to deepen it. But for the moment, just try to let it be just as it is. Observing how it feels within the body. So we're just going to hold this pose for a little bit longer. Trying to keep your awareness on that breath as it travels in through the nose, down into the lungs, into the belly perhaps, and then out through the nose. Now if your hips are starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable, feel free to just ease off a little bit. You can place your hands underneath the thighs and just bring the knees up to touch. If you can, just stay here for a few more breaths. One more inhale. Now, as you breathe out, I want you to start to bring your arms above the head, guys. And as you reach them up, grabbing hold of either elbow, letting the arms just rest down, holding us here. So just getting a gentle stretch through the torso, nothing too strenuous, nothing too intense. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale through the nose. From here, just going to release the arms back down to your side, placing the hands underneath the thighs now. Slowly draw them up. Now take it nice and slowly. Enjoy or observe that sensation as you ease off, bringing the knees together. You're going to take your feet all the way to the outer edges of the mat. So all the way to the edges here, letting the knees just fall in towards one another, creating this nice little pyramid shape. And as you do so, I want you to now bring your attention to the spine, to that lower back particularly. Press it down into the ground. Let it feel grounded through the whole of the back body. Wonderful. Taking a couple breaths here. One more inhale. Now, as you breathe out, I want you to just lift the knees away from one another. You're going to keep the right foot where it is, but I want you to bring the left knee in towards your chest. Wrap the hands around the shins and just give the knee a little bit of a squeeze in towards the body. Beautiful. Then from here, you're going to take your left ankle over to the right knee. So just below the knee, actually, not quite on the joint, but just a little bit below onto the thigh. And then let that left knee push forward. So you're going to start to feel a bit of a sensation here into that left hip. We're going to open up into our IT bands and our hip flexors. And then from here, just start to drop both knees down to the left-hand side. As you do that, try not to lift that right hip off the mat too much. If you want to, you can even place your right hand down onto the hip to keep it grounded. And as you press that right knee and that left knee down to the mat, you start to feel this sensation through the right-hand side, maybe into the inner thigh as well. And hold this for a few deep breaths. One more inhale. As you breathe out, slowly releasing out of the pause by lifting the knee up. You're just going to take that left foot off of the knee, and you're going to place it down to the left-hand side of the mat, and we'll change sides. So with that left foot all the way to the edge, you're going to hug the right knee in towards your chest. Wrap the hands around the shins. Give it a good squeeze. And then from here, just bringing that right ankle over to the left knee again, just a little bit below the knee, pushing the right knee forwards. And then let's drop the knees down to the right. So both knees here are going to drop. Try to keep this left hip grounded. If you want to, again, you can place that hand, the left hand onto the hip, just so it stays nice there. And then close down the eyes. You should begin to notice this lovely stretch through the outer edge of the left hip. Maybe into the inner thigh as well. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, start to lift back up, gently releasing the foot from the knee, and then bringing your feet a little bit closer in now, roughly about hip distance apart. Feet planted down, arms alongside the body. Just bring your feet in a little bit closer so you can lightly graze the backs of the heels of the fingertips. Now this is going to show you the indication of how your body needs to be in space here. So we've just got a good enough amount of space between the feet and the upper body. Feet planted down, hands down to the mat, and just again start to push the lower back into the ground. Get that nice connection between the back body and the mat. From here, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to start to peel the hips off of the mat and lift them nice and high, coming into a nice, gentle bridge pose, working the spine, lengthening and opening up through the back. Once you reach the top, you can either stay here with the arms or maybe interlace the hands underneath you, shuffle the shoulder blades together. Holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly release back down. Little by little, one vertebra at a time, the lower back comes down last. We're going to take 2 more like this, guys. So hands down to the mat, take a deep breath in. Lifting on the exhale, slowly peeling the hips up. Nice and high. Again, either have the arms alongside you or interlace them underneath your back. Holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly release back down. Wonderful. We'll take one more. So hands down to the mat. Take a deep breath in. Press the back body into the mat. As you exhale, slowly peeling the hips up once again. Nice and high. As you reach the top, giving the glutes a little bit of a squeeze. Holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and softly release back down. Beautiful. You're just going to hug your knees in towards your chest now. Wrap the hands around both shins and just start to rock from side to side, getting a nice spinal massage. So a lot of the time, guys, when we suffer from back issues, back pain, particularly lower back pain, it can often be because we're not engaging or working the glutes enough. So that's huge muscle that we have behind us, but we often don't engage it, and that can often mean that we then place too much pain, too much emphasis, too much strain into the lower back, and then we get injuries. So particularly if you are lifting heavy items and whatnot, we need to make sure we're engaging those glutes. So it's nice to start a bit of a practice with that bit of glute engagement there. Take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to place the hands onto the backs of the thighs now, keeping the knees hugged in, but we're going to start to rock up and down the spine. So little by little, you're going to eventually come up into a nice tabletop pose. So take a few more rocks back and forth. Being gentle on your spine here, making sure that the ground isn't too uncomfortable for you. And then on your next rock, you're going to cross the ankles. Bring the hands down to the mat in front of you and just start to make your way into a nice little tabletop pose. Beautiful. So before we come into our longer hold poses today, we're just going to work a little bit more into the spine and work into the wrists. So finding a nice comfortable position in your tabletop, pressing down through the palms of the hands, making sure you're stacking your joints one on top of the other here. Softness in the elbows. As you breathe and then start to lift the tailbone up towards the sky, drop the belly down, and then scoot the chest through the upper arms, gazing forwards. Lifting to the crown of the head, expand through the collarbone. As you start to breathe out, you're going to tuck the tailbone under, slowly rounding, protracting through the spine, pressing down through the hands, draw the chin towards the chest. 2 more here. Breathing in. Tailbone's going to lift up. Belly's going to drop down, scoot the chest through the upper arms, gazing forwards. As you breathe out, tailbone's going to tuck under, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, pressing down through the hand. 1 more inhale, tailbone lifts up, belly drops, scoot the chest through and up. Exhale, tailbone to tuck under, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, pressing down through the hand. Good stuff. Then just coming back to that tabletop pose, bringing your hips back towards the heels and just come into a little bit of a child's pose. So lengthen out through the arms here, let the head bow down, forehead to the mat, just gently stretching out the back. So as we come into this pose, child's pose is quite gentle, but we are still working into the spine and we're still lengthening through the back body. Hold this here for a few minutes, or a few moments rather, and try and send your breath to the back body so we're expanding through the spine here. One more inhale. As you exhale, slowly rounding back up through the spine. We're going to bring our body forwards. So you're going to drop the hips down towards the mat and start to lift through the chest. Squeeze the glutes, expand through the collarbone, coming into a nice cobra pose. And then start to take it back. Beautiful. So we're just going to take a few of these spinal waves. So you're going to bring the hips back towards the heels, really child's pose. And then start to bring your weight back forward. So rounding through the spine, lowering the hips, snaking the spine upwards, open through the chest, expand through the collarbone, squeezing the glutes. And then slowly bring yourselves back and come back into that mini child's pose. Let's take 1 more here. Lifting up, rounding through the back as you lift, coming into an angry cat, and then dropping the hips down, opening through the chest, expand through the collarbone, and then let's slowly come back. This time just coming to your tabletop, bringing the hands a little bit closer in, bring the knees together here as well, and we're just going to start to work a little bit into the wrist. So come to a nice kneeling position. We're going to start by interlacing the hands and just simply rotating through the wrists. So a few rotations one way and then changing back in the other way. Beautiful. We'll give the hands a little bit of a shakeout. From here, I want us to open up into the tops of the hands a little bit more. So we're going to create fists with our hands here. Bring the knuckles together, and we're going to place the tops of the hands down onto the mat. So As you can see here, the elbows are really bent, so kind of leaning over here. Press down to the tops of the hands. Make sure the tops stay down, so we're not lifting them up at all. We're going to lose a bit of the stretch if we do that. Pressing down, and then slowly start to lengthen through the arms. Now, your arms are still going to stay quite straight, quite bent here rather, but we're going to open up into the wrist. Go to that point where it feels just comfortable enough for you. Holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then softly release back down by lowering the elbows. We're going to take the hands now onto the mat, so palms of the hands down, fingers facing back towards the knees. Now you can just bring your knees a little bit wider here. And let's start to sink those hips back slightly. This time we're opening into the backs of the wrists here, into the insides of the arms. Take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, gently bring yourselves forward so you can ease off, placing the hands back down onto the mat. Again, let's just start to create a nice connection here. So press down through the hands, shoulders above the wrists, knees directly below the hips. Start to externally rotate those upper arms inwards so you're creating a nice engagement through those upper arms. Tuck the toes under. You're going to drive the hips back towards the heels now, stretching out the soles of the feet, stretching out the toes, and then begin to lift up into your downward facing dog. So as you lift up, guys, lengthening through the legs, let the head and the chest come back slightly towards the thighs. And you can start by pedaling out the legs a little bit. So bending one knee, then the other, driving one heel down towards the mat and the alternating heel. Just starting to really open up into the backs of the legs, open up into those hamstrings. Feel free to kind of play around a little bit here. You might want to sway the hips from side to side. Maybe nod the head yes, shake the head no, work into the back of the head, back of the neck. If you are feeling quite energized today and you want to take a bit of a little twist to begin with, you can take a nice twist here. So right hand stays where it is. You can take the left hand, feed it underneath the body, grab hold of the outer edge of the right leg, and then take the hands up past the right armpits. Nice little twist of the back. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, place the left hand back down, and you're going to take the right hand over to the left leg. And again, a nice little twist. Deep breath in. Exhale, take the hand back down to the mat. Beautiful. Now from here, I want you to just take the right leg to the sky. So lift it nice and tall, 3-legged dog, so straight leg. Try and keep the shoulders nice and parallel here, so we're not lifting that right shoulder up as the right leg goes up as well. Then from you guys, I want you to bend the knee, draw it in towards your chest. Start to place the foot in between the hands. Help it along if it needs to. So your hands now threading the front foot. Drop the untuck the back toes, and then start to take that towards the outer edge of the mat. So you're heel toeing it out to the edge. So now hands are on the inside. Options here, you can either stay on hands, but open a little bit more into that left hip, but down the left quad, and work deeper into your connective tissue. So either stay on the hands, you might want to bring the forearms down towards the mat or onto your block, or if you have cushions and you'd like to place your forearms there just for a little bit of comfort, you can as well. Then let the head just bow down. Eyes closed, and we're going to hold this for about a minute to a minute and a half, a little bit longer than you might be used to. Breathe into this, guys. You might start to notice around the minute mark that you feel a little bit of a shift. You might feel a little bit more open, a little bit more flexible. You might want to go a little bit deeper. You might want to come out of the pose a little bit more. Feel free to make that call for yourselves. I'll let you know when it's time to come out of the pose. Like I said, you might notice a bit of a shift in sensation on this left-hand side. Maybe you feel like you can go a little bit deeper. If you want to then take your forearms down to the mat, you can. Or just stay where you are, perhaps even easing off a little bit and then coming back into the pose. Let's hold this for another 10 more seconds. All right, one more inhale, you guys. As you breathe out, if your hands are not already onto the mat, place and lifting through the chest. And we're just going to start to heel toe that right foot back in between the hands. This time we're going to work into the hamstrings on the right hand side. So fingertips to the mat. Start to lengthen out that front leg. Feel free to have a slight bend in the knee if you need. And you're either going to stay with the hands forwards and bow down, or lifting through the toes, you can take the hands back towards that back knee and take the fold from there. It's a little bit more supportive back here. Alternatively, if you'd like to come all the way down to a half split, bringing the hips down towards the back heel, you can do so. Whichever option you're taking, we're going to inhale together, lengthen through the spine. As you exhale, folding up and over the leg, and let the head bow down, eyes closed, focusing on that sensation through the back of the right leg. And let's hold this for about 30 seconds. All right, guys, taking one more in. Breathing out, you're going to just drop that front foot down to the mat, draw the knee forwards. This time, rather than coming back into a little bit of a flow, I'm going to come up to a nice kneeling, bring the hands to the heart space, hands in towards the chest. I'm just going to flip over so you can see it the next time. Making sure that front tracking above the ankle. With your hands at your heart space, we're going to take a little twist. I know we did this a few just to get a little bit more to spine. So I want you to bring your left elbow to the outer edge of the right knee. Once you find that connection, use it as an anchor to twist through the upper body and lift the right elbow so it's stacking above the left. And let's hold this here for a few breaths. One more inhale. As you breathe out, take to the mat. You're going to frame that front foot, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, then step into your downward facing dog. Again, sending the chest and the head back towards the thighs. Here, guys, let's take the left leg to the sky. So, reaching it nice and tall, straight leg here, three-legged dog. Again, try to avoid letting that left shoulder lift. It's only the lower body that's lifting here. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, bring the knee in towards your chest, shift the weight forwards, you plant the foot in between the hands, and you're going to drop that back knee, untuck the back toes, and then begin to heel toe that left foot out to the edge. So this time, hands are onto the inside of the foot, send the hips down in space here, so already we're getting this lovely opening into the right hip and quads. Options to stay on the hands, maybe to bring the forearms down to the mat or onto some pillows of your choice. And you can let the head bow down, eyes closed. Let's hold this lizard pose for about a minute to a minute and a half. And you might feel a little bit different on this side. Our bodies are asymmetrical, so you might feel tighter, you might even feel looser. And around that 1 minute mark, you might notice a shift in sensation. So maybe it feels a little bit more open, you feel you can go a little bit deeper, or maybe you want to ease off. Totally up to you. Okay, so you might start to notice that shift in sensation. We're going to take a few more moments here. Again, if you need to ease off the pose and then come back into it, feel free. So when we hold pose a little bit longer, guys, what happens is we work into what we call the fascia, so the deeper connective tissue. And this surrounds all our organs, kind of binds them together, a bit like a spider web going through our body. And this, over time, can get quite tense, quite sore. So when we hold pose a little bit longer, we help to release the fascia, release any tension, any tightness. And in doing this, it helps to actually hydrate your muscles. So after the practice, you might feel that your muscles feel a little bit sore, a little bit a little bit tighter, a little bit kind of achy. That's totally normal. And then after a while, you'll feel quite nice that your muscles, your body's nice and hydrated from the fascia. Let's take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, just start to take the hands back onto the mat if they're not already there, and lifting through the chest. And you're going to take this left foot in between the hands. Start to gently ease off by sending those hips back in space, coming into a bit of a hamstring stretch here. So again, you might want to have your hands just by the foot. You might want to take them back in line with the back knee, lifting the toes, or you might want to come all the way down into a nice little half split pose. Totally up to you. Whichever option you're taking though, again, let's inhale to lengthen the spine, lift through the upper body. Exhale to fold up and over, eyes closed. Beautiful. Again, focusing on those sensations through the hamstrings, taking about 30 seconds here. All right, guys, take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, draw the foot forwards, plant it down. You're going to bring the knee so it's now tracking above that ankle. And again, let's start to bring those hands up to the heart space, thumbs in towards the chest. From here, we'll take that little side twist. So right elbow to the outer edge of the left knee. Find that connection first, then use it as an anchor to twist through the upper body. You should also start to notice a bit of a stretch into the glutes as well. And then you can lift that left elbow so you're stacking it above the right. Beautiful. Engaging through the core a little bit here. Help to twist. Holding this for a few breaths. One more inhale. As you breathe out, let's come back to center for the upper body. Take the hands down, framing the front foot. You're going to tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and then step back into your downward facing dog. Head nice and bowed down. As you arrive here, let's take the right leg to the sky again, but this time you're going to bend the knee. Stack the right hip above the left. Draw the foot closer into the glutes, coming into what we call a split dog. So you start to notice this a little bit more into that right hip. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to bring the knee in towards the chest, and then start to drop the knee down behind the right wrist. Get it as close as you can as possible. You're then going to extend that back leg out behind you, untucking the toes. Now, if you notice that your pelvis on the right-hand side is lifting quite a bit, feel free to place your block. So I'll just show you on this side. Feel free to place your block underneath, or your books, rather, underneath the pelvis. Just give it a bit more support. And then trying to keep the upper body nice and centered. Take the hands back so they're in line with your hips. Inhale to lift through the chest. Exhale, you're going to fold a little bit deeper. So lowering down, maybe forearms to the mat. Maybe extending your arms fully, or if you'd like to, you can always rest your forearms and your head onto some pillows. And then close down the eyes. Let's hold our pigeon pose for about a minute. Wonderful. So again, you might notice that you start to open up a little bit more into that right glute, into the hip. You might even feel this little stretch down the left-hand side as well, into the quads, into the hip flexor. Let's take a few more breaths here together. One last inhale. Breathing out, slowly ease yourself out of the pose, guys. Taking your hands back onto the mat, lifting through the chest. Take a moment here. How does it feel as you lift up and ease your sensation? And then planting the hands down, you're going to tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, lift the front knee, and then gently step back into your downward facing dog. From here, let's take the left leg to the sky. Then start to bend that knee, roll the hip open, so you're stacking the left hip above the right. Again, try not to move the upper body here, hugging the foot in towards the glutes. Then drawing that knee forward, so you're going to place it down behind the left wrist. Dropping the shin, dropping the hips down, untucking those back toes, grounding down through the top of the foot. Again, if you'd like to support through the left-hand side for your pelvis, feel free to place your block underneath there. Try to keep the body centered here. So often we have this tendency to roll over to the side where the bent leg is. And that's actually going to take a little of the stretch away. So if anything, bring the weight over to the opposite side slightly. Hands back in line with the hips. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to fold up and over. Maybe bring the forearms to the mat. Maybe extend the arms fully. You're resting onto your pillows. Eyes closed, head bow down. And again, guys, you might start to notice now that there's a shift in sensation through the glute, through the hip. You might want to ease off a little bit. You might want to stay where you are. A couple more moments here in our pigeon. Let's take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, taking the hands back onto the mat, lifting up through the chest. Ease your way out of the pose and take a moment here as you lift up. How does that feel? Any differences, any shift in sensation for you? Alrighty, from here, guys, we're going to tuck the toes under, lift the back knee, lifting the front knee off the mat. We're going to step back into our downward facing dog. But from here, I want you to just bend the knees slightly and start to walk the feet behind the hands. Make your way up towards the front edge of the mat. And once you arrive here, we're just going to let the upper body hang heavy. So have a softness in the knees here. You might want to just have the arms like hanging out in space, maybe taking a gentle sway from side to side, or perhaps you can grab a hold of either elbow and come into a nice little ragdoll. But the key here, guys, is to really let the head, the upper body hang heavy. So don't have any like tension or resistance through the neck. Let it be heavy. Let it hang down. Beautiful. Take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, you're just going to take the hands down towards the mat. Bend the knees a little bit more. Start to heel toe your feet out towards the edge of the mat, pointing the toes out to the sides. Then slowly begin to lower the hips down in between, lifting through the chest, coming into a nice little squat pose. Now, as you arrive in a pose, you might want to just rock the hips from side to side. So Finding a little bit of space in those hips, lifting the toes, lifting the heels, rocking the knees. Wonderful. And then from here, just finding a sense of stillness. Now, if you feel that you need a bit more support for that lower spine, feel free to sit on the edge of your books or your block. That might help to kind of ease a bit of the pressure off. And you can either have your hands down to the mat in front of you, or maybe you can bring your hands to your heart space, pressing your knees out to the edges with the elbows. And then close down your eyes. Let's take 5 deep breaths here. One more inhale. As you breathe out, opening the eyes, you're just going to gently take the hands down towards the mat. If you've got any blocks underneath you, just gently removing them. Keeping the right hands down in front of your right foot. So I'm going to mirror you guys. I'll do my left, but you guys do your right. Right hand in front of right foot, pressing the arm into the knee. As you inhale, reach the opposite arm up to the sky. Take a nice stretch through the upper body. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, taking that hand down to the mat, pressing the arm into the leg, and then reach the opposite arm up. Inhale, expand through the chest. As you reach that arm up and back, pressing the opposite arm into the leg, opening up here. And then gently bring it back down. You start to lift the hips up slightly, guys. Heels toe the feet back together, so they're touching, and then you're going to just drop the hips all the way to the mat. Once you come down, take the hands onto the backs of the thighs again, and we're just going to gently roll back onto the spine, onto the mat, and then rock from side to side. It's nothing fancy, just bringing ourselves back down to the ground. You might want to take a few gentle circles with the knees, letting that lower spine round down, changing direction. Beautiful. And then coming back to center, just taking the hands from out behind at the thighs. You're going to bring both arms in between the legs now. Grab hold of the outer edges of the feet, so the sides of the pinky toes. Placing the hands there, you're then going to lift the feet up towards the sky, drawing the knees down towards the mat, coming into a happy baby. Now we have this tendency when we come into happy baby to want to bring the legs out behind us and lifting that lower back. Have a little play around to start with. Think about lifting the heads, then lifting the lower spine. How does that feel? And then I eventually want you to then draw that lower back down into the mat. So ground down through the sacrum, the lumbar spine. And then see if you can lift those feet a little bit higher. Just start to really notice this into the inner thighs, into the hip flexors. Beautiful. Eyes closed. We're taking a few deep breaths here. One more inhale. As you breathe out, just bring those knees back in towards the chest. Take both arms out to the sides. Now, if you don't have a lot of space to extend the arms fully, you can always cactus the arms, so bringing them, like bending at the elbows and just having them like create this like little cactus position here. Your knees are going to drop down to the left. And then take your head and the gaze over to the right. Now, try to keep that right shoulder blade, guys, grounded down as you take your twist. Gentle supine twist here. Couple breaths. One more inhale. Breathing out, let's bring the knees back to center. And then take them over to the other side. So, gently removing any blocks, anything you might have in the way. Just drop the knees down to the right. Take the head and the gaze over to the left. Again, close your eyes. One more inhale. Breathe out, come back to center. Release the arms down to your side. Just start to release the legs down to the mat as well. From here, just give the legs a little bit of a shake out. And then let the hands and the feet fall out naturally, letting the body be, finding a point of rest. So you might want to just gently adjust any little parts of you, so maybe back of the head, just letting it rest nicely and comfortably, shoulders down away from the ears. Don't worry too much about that gap between the lower spine and the mat. Just letting the body be however it needs. And then start to find your sense of stillness. So letting go of any residual tension you might be stored within the body. That might be in your jaw, maybe your furrow in your brow. Letting the shoulders just draw away from the ears, hips to relax, anything at all. Alright guys, start to bring it yourselves back to the space. Start to deepen your breath. Gently inhaling and exhaling through the nose, letting the belly rise and fall. From here, just going to gently rock your head from side to side, stretching out the neck. Then you start to take a bit of movement through the fingers, through the toes, perhaps rotating through the wrists, through the ankles. And if you like, you can reach your arms above the head and take a nice deep full body stretch. So inhale, lengthening through the body. As you exhale, perhaps side out. Draw the arms down to your sides. Bring the knees in towards your chest. Start to roll over onto one hand side, and with the eyes closed, making your way up into a nice seated position. Sitting nice and upright. Hands can rest wherever feels most natural. And we're going to end our practice today with 3 deep breaths together, 3 dragon's breaths, quite cleansing for the body. So how these work is we're going to breathe in through the nose and then forcibly exhale through the mouth. So really side out, create a nice sound. So let's do this together. Inhale through the nose. And side out. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. 1 more, inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Just start to bow the head down now. Letting the back of the neck elongates. As we close our practice for today, just giving a moment or taking a moment to give thanks to yourself for being here, for practicing, for taking the time to move your body, to calm the mind, create a little bit more space, clarity, consciousness. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here today. Namaste. Thank you guys. It was a wonderful class. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you have any questions to me at all, feel free to holler at me. If you want to message me on here, I think you can still message on here, or you can message me on Instagram. But it was an absolute pleasure having you all here. And yeah, have a lovely Thursday. Thank you so much.